We saw some of the adjustments come out mid-series between NRG and Space Station, and we saw the tactical timeout. Chrome talking to Sypical. Now, they've had plenty of time to go to the drawing board and figure things out. And so we're going to have to keep our eyes, Chiefs, on Space Station to see what kind of adjustments they have in store.
And we definitely had a pretty solid approach. Reynolds with a lot of off-ball work and forcing NRG to be aware on that midfield line, lest they give up that space that Space Station so desperately craves to get the offense rolling. If that continues, it could be a tough second series for them.
I think coming into this series, too, Reynolds has said that something that Space Station is working on is getting Sypical a little bit more involved, especially downfield. And I think we've seen sparks of that. We haven't seen that completely, and I'm interested to see if that's another big thing that Space Station's working on, because you know when he's on the ball, magic can happen.
Magic happening for Justin. We saw him be the key factor in a couple games. You remember back early on, he had this solo play to get an early game win. And all 6 of these players out there on the field have that capability.
I mean, you can talk about Garrett's performance in their last series, or last set, rather, and what he's done. And you even saw it early on here in the previous series where he was on the ball quite a bit, getting into those air dribbles and being threatening on the Space Station side. So there's a lot of weapons, really, for both sides, but NRG have certainly shown their weapons a bit more. They flex their guns.
Here's the one thing you should probably consider. You didn't even really have the same level of impact from Garrett G and Squishy. Obviously, you had Justin popping off in that first series, and he's going to score another. Oh, no, it's not. It's off the bar, down and out. Thought that one was going to ping in as Garrett G floats one over to Squishy, but that's the one thing you should be wary of if you're Space Station. I don't think NRG still hit 100% yet.
Always room for improvement. You really feel that way about both teams.
Yeah.
They are capable of getting in that extra gear. And in this game, the first game in the second series, more push and pull, a tug of war. Defense coming out from NRG.
Certainly not peak SSG from what we saw in the previous series. There were a couple good games from Space Station, but I don't think any of those games were the peak Space Station that maybe we've seen in sets past. So see if they can bring that here in this series. This could be a good start for them, as that one turned away and NRG on the counter.
And that was a smart play earlier from Squishy. He was on 0 boost, but was acting like he had some. Slowed down the Space Station attack. Sypical also, his shot denied. Space Station having some looks.
Gosh.
We see a bump from Garrett in the air. Sypical will get a tip, but he gets bumped off the ball. Arsenal pinching down. Up against Squishy in the corner. Reynolds right behind him. Reynolds.
Oh my.
Going for the dunk, and he almost did it.
I mean, that all was brought about. Justin actually missed 200 boost pads, so he kind of had a weak challenge coming off that backboard because he only had 20, so he didn't have a good approach. And honestly, Justin kind of getting bailed out by how quality of a challenge Garrett G put on that ball.
Sypical, a high hit will be saved from Justin. Rebound comes out. Squishy demos Sypical, and you see no one there. Squishy able to get the clear, uncontested.
That's a solid clear from Squishy as well. Makes Space Station turn around and collect that ball in the corner instead of instantly being able to boom it back. But here they come. Reynolds, can he put it over? He can't. Looking for follow-up. Sypical. The shot's too high. Off the crossbar. Chance spoiled for Space Station.
And was that Reynolds who did all that work to force the rebound?
Oh, my goodness.
Regardless, you think that has to be a goal for Space Station.
It certainly should have been. Sypical. It's much better than that in that effort. And here comes Arsenal again. Space Station hungry for that first goal. They've been so close. And NRG picking up the pace out of defense here to get out.
They're still having to work hard, though. Bobbing and weaving. You can see Arsenal forcing Garrett G to take an awkward path to that ball. And Space Station continue to ply what is probably their greatest weapon, off-ball pressure to make your angle of attack a quite difficult one to line up properly and execute well on.
Another shot coming out would have been wide. Justin will take it to the corner.
Oh, no.
Reynolds centers it, but no one's there for Space Station. Arsenal couldn't get the follow-up touch, and speed from Justin will clear it down to the corner. He's low on boost, though. Garrett trying to help out. A big flick comes out. And Justin will go for the clear. Typical across the net. A dangerous ball. No one from Space Station in shooting position. We've seen that a couple times now. And that bounce up at 0 seconds, going to keep the ball in play, but we've got a 0-0 overtime to start things out.
They were all kind of looking at Justin as he was edging up the pitch, and they're like, you know, instead of tipping this down into the middle and giving him a chance to read us, I'm just going to let that fall
it hit.
back.
Yeah.
My heart skipped a beat watching that. I was like, oh my goodness. Just missed that touch.
Oh,
it's a hit for Justin off the post and in. NRG, 14 seconds. They'll take the first game.
Is there anybody in big moments that steps up better than Justin?
Man, I'm trying to size up how that ball even got through everybody and what possessed Justin to just get so tight on that approach. He just stormed out through the midfield, was like, yeah, it'll come out, and put a good hit on it.
Man, look at that. Look at those stats from Space Station. 9 shots, and this one's a painful one to lose. They have plenty of games ahead of them, but that shot from Typical absolutely should have gone in. That was the opportunity to at least have a tied game here, or let alone win this game, and this one stings if you're Space Station.
I'm with you on that one, Corelli. This was Space Station's game to put away, and Typical, he was so good against Envy, and that shot, that was the turning point. I think everyone saw it. That was the moment where Space Station, if they score that, they're out in the lead, they're recovered, they're marching back in the second series, and this is it. This is Space Station's season coming down to this final series.
Well,
they cannot afford to make mistakes like that.
The good news is that you clearly had a successful game plan in game one. It just came down to put the ball in the back of the net, right? So as far as you're concerned as Space Station, do it again and see if NRG can beat you.
But how many lives do you get before you find yourself on 0? Space Station can't afford any more mistakes. Gonna have to battle back here in game 2. You see Reynolds relentlessly chasing Squishy, and Squishy still was able to get that save, and now he's got to look. He goes for the pass. Justin, too high. Space Station, catch a break.
Go for it.
I was going to say, that was a congested shot to get after, too. So for Justin to hit that one high is a bit more understandable, but man, the passing, that decision to drop that one in front of everyone, the offense and the defense, for the pass, or for the shot rather, was genius by NRG, and it almost paid off with the Justin shot.
He gave himself both options too. I mean, he disguised it very well.
Keeping everyone guessing. But NRG still walked away without a goal. Maybe Squishy would have hit that shot. We'll never know. And we've got another close ball game shaping up.
Oh, whoa, Space Station are kind of like, oh, no one's going to get that?
Good thing Reynolds was there for Space Station. That would have been a play that would have haunted you for a while in your Rocket League career. Space Station now trying to fight out of their own half. Typical. And you see a bump, actually. It looked like Arsenal got bumped into that hit, maybe. We see a demo as well. Arsenal slowing it down. The flick stopped by Justin, using up every ounce of boost to get that beat by the defender, and it proved to be a good call.
That's slippery. The difference maker.
He's slippery on the ball today, Justin is. He's been able to work the Space Station attackers and defenders, getting out of tough spots, but also putting on good shots. Here's an opportunity again for Reynolds, looking for the block. He does get it to at least prevent the initial clear, but NRG still get away with it.
And the Chiefs, we're seeing this so much. NRG stuck on their goal line in the back, and they're finding ways to make it work.
That's exactly the point. I mean, Space Station's coming through, executing, getting the bumps, trying to get that extra space going, but Corelli said it, they're so slippery. They're getting hit, but it's after they've made the clear that they need to make to buy more time, and it's just so close to exactly what Space Station needs to happen, and NRG just finding way after way after way to get out of a tight spot.
NRG, even when they're taking hits, seems like only glancing blows. Space Station want to break through the guard, and that might be a chance. Double commit from NRG.
Wow.
Backboard pass. And Justin was there. Sypical was racing in, but he had 0 boost. Still on nothing. The boost stolen from in front of him, trying to get a good 50 out of this. And a bump from Arsenal that actually pushes him out of position. And Arsenal's going to have to play this slow.
They had battles out in front too with that demo on the goal line as well. So again, if that plays out just slightly differently and there's Justin forcing Space Station to reset, gonna go steal that corner boost as well and try and keep a nice high level of boost so they don't have to get caught chasing into the corner to stay up there in the boost game.
Off the time, Space Station has been sending 2 players chasing after NRG, one on the ball and then another man, but is this one just picked off by Squishy, and NRG get another one?
Wow, and you don't see this coming. You see Reynolds going for that corner boost. He's not thinking that this ball is going to be sent right back towards net, but it does.
Sypical had it. He had Squishy beat. He just missed it.
Space Station, they're not out of it just yet. But it's creeping further and further away in favor of NRG. Rebound out. Sypical in a foot race. Has Reynolds across the net and Arsenal right behind him. Arsenal has his ball stopped from being crossed by Justin. And now Garrett clearing it downfield under a minute to make something happen. Space Station have to pick up the pace. Right now the ball's stuck in their own corner. Garrett and Squishy both there, waiting. And that's a nice touch from Reynolds, but Justin so quickly in support.
Oh, man. No, exactly what you're saying is Space Station trying so hard to get a free touch, just a space, just to get off their line, out of their box. But NRG just relentless. Garrett with almost a second touch off the crossbar. NRG are just not slowing down.
Space Station might be able to punish NRG. Lofting ball, and Sypical doesn't make contact.
Oh, it's awkward.
Oh, and Reynolds is floating there. He's a sitting all the way back. Space Station, I mean, you saw that playing through. Squishy had passed it a dime over to Garrett. You think Garrett's going to score it. Bangs it off the crossbar, and then the ball's floating up. Sypical has a run on it. That is just what you want if you're Space Station. And Sypical wasn't able to make the play. And we saw that a couple times in this game specifically, Corelli. Sypical in a situation where it's hinging on him. And he wasn't able to make the play.
And I'm really happy to see an SSG tactical timeout here, because personally, I wouldn't want to wait until your final life to have to make changes, and calling it here allows your team to maybe have a couple games to see how their changes are implemented and make further ones with another game. But Achieves was talking about going into this game that SSG were playing that a good style of Rocket League that was working against NRG not 2 games ago. But I feel like at the end of this game, especially the back half of this last game, that did not come through for Space Station. NRG picked up that pace, and you could really see them start to take over. And I think it goes back to the challenge game. NRG are just in the faces of Space Station Gaming and just relentless with the pressure and challenges.
It's in their own corner where I was most impressed with the challenge game. That first half of the game was really where Space Station was still in the offensive mindset of, just keep driving the hammer at them, and eventually, you'll snap the head off the nail, right? But no, they just would not go away. And NRG's defense is really what wins that game for me, I think, just in that first half.
NRG has been flexible. And, even watching the BDS Vitality series, there's something different about the big game, the big series. And this is a team, even when they picked up Squishy, they won the Season 8 World Championship. NRG won it with Turbo. And they pick up Squishy because they wanted to build another dynasty LAN team. You even heard in Squishy's interview, they wanted to have a team where everyone is focused on one thing and one thing only, and that's winning the big games. And NRG is proving that they're able to do it right now. However, there's still a bit of life left for Space Station.
Oh, what a shot.
But this game feels like a must-win, doesn't it, Corelli?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, going down 3 games in a best-of-7 against NRG when you're already down another best-of-7 is a tall order for, I would say, any team to come back from. And NRG are certainly not going to slow down.
And look at the scorelines, 1-0, 1-0 to start things off. One play from Sypical or Reynolds or Arsenal, just that solo play could have made all the difference.
And they've been there. They've had him. They've had him, James, multiple
They've had the
times. They've had the looks, and Space Station just haven't been able to convert. Like Cheese had alluded to earlier on, it was good Rocket League from Space Station. They just didn't convert. It didn't drop for them, and that's been the biggest difference.
Oh, Sypical, important read there. Massive speed from him. Sypical, no hesitation. And you saw Justin ready to blast that one in.
Out early. And that's really has probably been the biggest improvement for Sypical all weekend long. I mean, he's just been locked in on the reads department. Defense, offense, doesn't matter. The dude's been dialed in, and unfortunately here, still not enough. Oh my gosh, are you kidding?
No.
Oof.
And now, how did this happen?
Okay, so Sypical's on the wall. Garrett G just floats one. A little tester towards the net. And
Did Sypical bump him?
Well, Reynolds was
What
up early.
happened?
Reynolds got out in front of the ball. Reynolds didn't actually make it in time to that touch.
Oh,
and I think Reynolds tipped it backwards,
It came off the
the
crossbar to
inside
hit
of the
Reynolds.
car. Yeah, because he never actually made it to it. So Sypical never actually got a chance at it.
And I
Yeah.
think Sypical might have ran into him.
Yeah, no. Sypical hit Reynolds. The ball came off the crossbar, bounced off Reynolds and into the net.
Wow. That is going to take wind out of your sails. Space Station, we'll see what they're going to do to respond, because you give up a play like that. And I mean, even just as a viewer, you can tell that one's going to hurt.
Get blown back right there. You're like, wait, what? You got two people on the goal line and it goes in like that?
And
Yeah,
we've mentioned
especially when
that-
we're in game 3,
Yeah.
and there's been 2 goals in the previous 2 games.
And we've been talking about, how much that hurts for Space Station, or that one's going to sting. And there's a lot of painful goals being let up or not being converted for Space Station at the moment. And like you've been talking about, 1-goal games, and that's simply been the difference. One mistake, one missed opportunity, and it's gone.
We're seeing a lot less control from Space Station in the NRG half, which seemed to have characterized the last game. 50, Squishy's out of boost. Reynolds, extra effort, but
Nice fake.
didn't work out. You see Garrett wanting to get that 50, but Sypical did a good job. However, Squishy going downfield. We're seeing a lot of the 50s taken in midair from NRG, and it has worked out wonderfully. And you see Arsenal with the missed flick.
Reynolds is backwards. Reynolds needs to be in a better spot right there to just stop Garrett G from getting that free clear. SSG are able to get the ball back, but when you need to put one in the back of the net, granted, you got 2 minutes. You just don't want to give up all the pressure.
Jumping that line.
Pre-jump from Justin to not let Space Station out. Space Station still do get down, and Reynolds, good work here. Slow playing it again. Now chasing Garrett in
the
net.
effort.
Jeez.
You see Squishy jumping into the boost, continuing on that challenge. NRG,
Liquid.
they are composed on defense, but still another shot gets denied. Still NRG or SSG on the assault. How long can NRG keep this up? And a miss.
Oh, no.
Justin will bail
Second
out
save.
Squishy.
Now Squishy's going to bail him out. Justin was like, I'm not ready to make a second one yet. He's going to have to, and Reynolds not going to give him a chance. Pokes it just past him to the far post. Space Station finally get it back.
That
Almost seems like justice, Corelli.
Yes, that was exactly what I was about to say. There is justice for Space Station as they are able to finally break down the defense of NRG, but more importantly, that sustained pressure from Space Station is super important if they're going to win at least this game and get back into this series.
Double commit from NRG. Squishy will stay on it. Flip reset. Broken up. Arsenal clearing it down. Justin gets demoed, but he's still able to get the loft out to Garrett G, who's out of boost. Arsenal the 50. Justin beat by Reynolds.
Ooh.
Arsenal got in Sypical's way a bit.
What?
Oh, Arsenal got in Sypical's way. Sypical had a shot on that ball. Arsenal could have even taken it. Somebody had to go for it.
They got Garrett G in a 1-on-2 and they just let him off the hook. Oh my goodness.
And Sypical, I think, after the fact, was trying to get that fake, trying to bait that defender out, but he had realized Garrett wasn't fighting.
It's too late.
And he knew what had happened.
No
and
way.
This one,
Okay.
Still not over yet.
Justin.
Backboard hit. Arsenal, the double tap, wafts it up high. Arsenal happy to let this one touch. Big game for Space Station. NRG could move to championship point for the win here.
There's been opportunity for Space Station, and it's going to be another painful game if they were to lose it. Typical's got to get this one away, but a good dunk from NRG, bailed out by Reynolds clear. This will at least get Space Station some space to move downfield.
Pass, Arsenal up, leaves it for Reynolds, who catches it. The shot is good! Space Station with a clutch win in Game 3.
Look at Arsenal carve him up. Fake, bye-bye. Actually, I think he might have got a little poke on that ball down to Reynolds. Ooh, either way, he just threw NRG for a big loop, and Reynolds delivered.
And I love seeing the player cams there. Reynolds just screaming, yes, the little rock in the chair says, okay, here we go. We've got it. We've got it figured out. We finally converted on a good play here. That's the Space Station Rocket League that they're going to need if they're going to take down NRG here in this series. It's a long road back, but obviously some adjustments have been made by Space Station, and they have worked here against NRG.
And Reynolds willing that victory into existence. He had to have a great first touch to keep that follow-up shot in a good position for him. And he had a great first touch. And not only that, you saw Squishy was in a very advantageous position to defend. Obviously, you don't want to be in that position as a defender, but he had a decent amount of runway and a good look at Reynolds, and Reynolds blasted that shot high. That was not as easy as it looks to be that surgical in a high-pressure situation. Reynolds came to play.
And to me, that game was really, disaster avoidance, right?
Yeah.
Stop yourself on the edge of the cliff, kind of waving your arms, trying to hold your balance. And Space Station finally brought all the way back. They got, as you said, justice for what's been some pretty good pressure. NRG, they can stop a lot, but they can't stop everything. And it took a nice play from Arsenal and Reynolds to execute it. So going into Game 4, I think Space Station, I'm wondering if it's a communication issue, right? Because I just keep running back that 2v1 against Garrett G, where just nobody went for it. And
I'm like, bump with Reynolds and Typical, that was a known goal.
Is it you guys not communicating or communicating too much, or what's going on? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. It's a good point. There's been a lot of shooting yourself in the foot moments for Space Station, whether it's on offense or defense here. And they're still in it. And like we've been alluding to, they've been creating a lot more chances, but they're going to need many more here in the next few games.
And for Space Station, that was a must-win game, and they did it. Oh, and you see a miscommunication there. Squishy still recovered.
Almost turned it into something.
Making the best out of a bad situation. Arsenal, wrap-around pass, big boom up. Justin, he's there. The shot will be high. Gets the rebound off the post.
I just want to go back to that first touch from Justin. I mean, it's not often you go up for a redirect and then end up twisting your car all the way back around to buy the extra time to catch it off the back quarter panel and then give yourself a line towards this follow-up. Oh, it was good, but unfortunately.
I was looking at that play and I'm thinking, he might shoot at first. Double demo. Situation where Justin's got to be last.
There it is.
No hope. 3v1. SSG, this is what we expected them to do.
It is the bread and butter of SSG. Getting the demo on Squishy opens up just that space between the ball and the box to pass it across to the right side. And, of course, having a finisher there in Typical to put it away. That is textbook Space Station Rocket League.
NRG now on their back foot, and a skip will send it high. Justin will get back to defend it. Rebound out to Reynolds, and Reynolds denied. Justin, perfect on his boost switch. And another save from Justin, who could use a little bit of boost. He says, guys, please, someone, take a shot.
There we go. He'll use Reynolds to kick that ball back to the Space Station. Have a wild couple of defensive sequences for NRG, and honestly, it feels like you're continuing from the start of the series. Space Station, good pushes, and it's NRG having to play some stingy defense to hold them off.
Things are looking up for Space Station. the aggressor so far in game 4.
See if they can keep riding this type of momentum. It's a good challenge win by Reddles as well. And looking for the demo there. He gets it. Space opens up, but the touch too heavy from Reddles. Squishy right it all the way. And NRG get bailed out.
Garrett is going to go for this ball again. Hard bounce off the arc, but Arsenal well positioned to handle it. Justin out of boost now. See what he can do. It's blocked a demo now. Garrett, his third man, pushed the ball upfield, and now a big boom. Garrett, leave that for Squishy now. Looking for his opportunity to come into the play. Sees the 50, kicked out to Justin. Justin controls the fake off the corner, forces the defender to jump. Reddles in net will get the save. Justin, the corner boost, or the mid boost rather, picking it up, weaving his way around the net.
No way.
90!
It's Justin versus Space Station Gaming in this series, and he's just carving through the defense once again. Another highlight play for Justin.
I need a shower.
You know, Justin, he is an artist. These goals, they're beautiful.
It's impressive because, I mean, half of that dribble is reactionary. It's what has the defense given me?
Yeah.
And in the fraction of a second, he's made the perfect touch to set himself up for success. It's truly something to behold.
I mean, to get that many touches in a threes game with everyone in front of you, let alone a pro threes game, is just unreal. To get through each one, because a lot of times when you beat the first man, it opens up space for the next man to challenge, and it's over. But Justin somehow has this uncanny ability to keep not only possession on the ball, stay close to it, but then beat the first man, the second man, and sometimes even the third man.
Oh, she's the tap down. Justin won't be able to clean it up. Now counterattack ball, Sipical. 50 by Justin. Garrett. The ball kick out to Justin. Arsenal up early. The demo, Sipical, awkward situation.
Yeah,
he doesn't get the hit. Corner boost steal from Squishy. Garrett will turn. A demo, the ball lobbed towards net. Reddles will be able to recover and hits it to open space.
There's that, yeah. And look at Reddles. He left that ball because that's another Space Station classic. Get out in front of it. Let your teammate behind you pick it up on the dribble. And NRG going to have to fight Space Station off the ball here pretty soon. And thankfully, a small gap opened up. Arsenal not wanting to get too aggressive with a tie game, with 20 seconds left. You'd rather see OT than take a risky challenge like that.
Space Station, you see Arsenal diving in for the demo. It's going to open up a chance for Garrett to dribble it out. Pops it over Arsenal. Garrett, no way. Garrett, the flick will be denied. Squishy to the
finish with the bomb.
The double tap. Squishy is blocked by Arsenal. He says, not this time.
Just barely didn't have enough boost to get back to it. 21 after his first touch. He did get the touch, but just not enough to get by the defense. Another highlight play for NRG that almost was. And we're into overtime.
Another dire situation for Space Station, but if they win this in overtime,
right back in.
You just start to see. You see the world that could come into existence. Space Station hold off this attack. Squishy in the corner. Reddles tips it right back out. Squishy will stay on it. To commit from Space Station in the corner. Garrett has it bounce out. Sipical to Garrett. Garrett gets another tap.
Nice. Oh, the slowdown. I love that from Reddles. He knows there's no need to force a counterattack here. Make sure we're set up properly, but unfortunately they all miss it. Squishy is off. He needed help. Squishy didn't actually have a line towards the net. He just hit the ball too hard.
And he had backup. The pace was too much.
Crush that.
Space Station get away with one. See if they make the most of it.
Extra life. And that's where you really make your money as a pro team, right? Your other team gives you a free extra life. More often than not, it comes back to bite you.
And that's when you maybe throw in a quick chat here and there. Oh, the moves around. Garrett gets the center, but it's cleared out to Reddles. Reddles towards net. Squishy racing back will get the tip. Arsenal off the ceiling makes Garrett miss. Justin challenged. NRG struggling to get boost. They're going to have to find a way to hold on. Justin had the corner, but he gets demoed. Squishy
There's no one there.
lobs it downfield.
Spacestation, they were doing well to move the ball, but no one keeping a hold of it. That was a big miss by Reynolds again. Then a few times he just completely whiffs it on the defensive side, but bailed out. Spacestation, like I was saying, they're doing a good job of moving the ball around. Just that final touch on target isn't coming now. NRG sometimes completely scrambled. This one played off the back wall, and Garrett will land on it.
And smart from Garrett. You saw him never let go of boost. Nice tip from Arsenal. The shot saved. Rebound up for Typical. And it's a save from Justin. The chance to end it. Justin stood in the way. Typical came within inches of closing that one out. Now Squishy, his double tap denied.
Oh my goodness. Both sides having huge opportunity to end this overtime. Coming up on 3 minutes now of extra time. And you can't say they didn't have their chances. Here's another one for Spacestation, but the pass just a bit too far past Reynolds.
The threatening passes achieves. We're seeing them for Spacestation. One of them's bound to go in.
Those lanes opening up a little bit more because the game has transitioned into this launch the ball far down the pitch, and that's really going to spread the field. And all it takes is one good catch in the midfield, and you know Spacestation's good at that game. As a double commit here from NRG, they're not going to have too much pressure going forward. Definitely going to have to give the ground here. And Reynolds to Arsenal. Arsenal is probably going to be looking for Typical after he gets through everybody here.
Arsenal calm under pressure. Reynolds back up high. Reynolds looks like he might have been hunting for Justin, but Justin was expecting it.
Bad clear.
Long clear. Arsenal is going to have a look on it.
There.
The pass down,
decent.
and Garrett got in the shooting lane.
What a block from Garrett just to hop in front of that. That ball was played past him. There's just no chance of him getting it initially.
Yeah. Chance
Garrett
to
knew
close
that
here
was
for
the
NRG.
best chance.
This is a good. Oh, there's the double demo as well. Justin is gonna get blown up. Arsenal knew Spacestation, a small gap, just by proxy of sometimes you do eventually have to let go off the gas. You got to go get boost eventually. And NRG won the couple of challenges they needed to, and what a touch from Arsenal. Oh my goodness.
Boldness. Lob off the backboard. Garrett goes for the far post, and he hits it. Garrett G! The precision strike in overtime.
I can't believe this one was let in. Arsenal on the backflip means he's not prepared for the shot. Typical just doesn't get the read, and Reynolds isn't back.
It's just edging forward. Typical's just sucked into the ball. I mean, he rotated back post.
Awkward.
He had a line and everything, and then he just pulled himself forward into the middle of the net right as Garrett G put it back post. Momentum gets the better of him, and NRG survive the free chance they gave Spacestation and hold him off.
I mean, that game, that was a coin flip. We saw Spacestation with some great looks. Typical had another game-winning shot that he was not able to score. Justin, credit to him. He was predicting where the shot was going to come, but still, if you're Typical, if you hit that shot, your team is now in a position to win this series. And now it seems like it might be out of reach. There's still time. There's still time. I'm not calling it early, but Spacestation, they've had these moments so far, Corelli, where more times than not, they've not been able to step up in these big moments. They did it last game. Weren't able to do it here. It's
the finish line that they're struggling to cross right now. And a lot of times they're winning the race. I mean, they're the first ones to the ball. They're the first ones to have a good shot, and they're the ones creating great opportunities. And we mentioned it a couple times where Spacestation, we felt like they were taking over the game and they were outplaying NRG.
Absolutely.
But again, it just comes back to the little things, whether it's mistakes on defense or not converting on offense. Those are what have come back to bite, because we've said it multiple times now. These have been very, very close games, and it's those little difference makers that add up over time.
You know, honestly, I think Spacestation has had more quality possession than NRG throughout this series.
Definitely agree.
Oh my!
It's just that, and
you get the massive play. You get the massive play from NRG on offense, and then that defense is just flexible enough to handle all the different looks that Space Station's handling it. It really is requiring a truly pop-off offensive game from NRG. It's not like they're just out here, passing on everyone. It's some inspired goal-scoring chances being required for NRG to get on the board most often than not.
Yeah, both teams are playing with such pace that you're operating in such a small window of opportunity, and you don't have much time to think about it or to aim. On Garrett beats the third man again.
It's another massive gap between the play and the last man in Space Station, and NRG poke it free once again. Justin had one of these earlier. Squishy, I think, had one as well. Garrett getting in the mix, and NRG, another go-ahead goal 1 minute into play.
And you wonder if Sypical knew where he was on the field. Garrett put that where you would expect Sypical to block it. The ball went to Sypical's left and still almost was wide. Sypical needed to get between the net and the ball in that situation. I just don't know if he knew exactly where he was on the field. And now another shot coming in will be denied. Arsenal has it out to Sypical. Sypical chance to make amends. Gets bumped off the ball. And Garrett will clear it out to the side. Arsenal with the catch. Had no time to take the shot. Justin able to boom it down. And now a corner pass. Reynolds up early. Leads Sypical. Sypical going for the backboard. And Garrett will clear it out. And this could be it. NRG, if this scoreline holds, will be the North American champions for RLCSX.
Got a long way to go before you get there, though. As you said at the start, Space Station, a lot of quality looks and pressure throughout the series. Unfortunately there, the shot right down the middle, and a fairly easy save for NRG, but still having to work overtime really to get out of their own half. And oh my goodness, how in the world does that not go in as Arsenal going to make a follow-up save? Space Station Gaming working a little magic on the goal line.
The fight is still there as Sypical denies yet another shot from NRG. Space Station not giving up just yet. They've got less than half the game to go. Garrett Farpool denied by Sypical.
And the pace of play picking up. Space Station on the counter, and Justin makes a save on the left side of his goal. That was a good look for Space Station after feeling so much of the pressure from NRG.
End-to-end attacks, one after another. Sypical gets blocked back to Arsenal. Justin gets beat badly on that 50, but a bump comes out at the midfield. Arsenal, the weak shot. And Garrett cleared out, but Sypical be able to go airborne off the ceiling, loses possession.
Gosh.
And NRG will take over.
Justin just reading this game immaculately. He's going to stall it out in the midfield for Garrett G to come through and do this to him.
And again, a mistake on the Space Station side, just kind of giving the ball away for free. Sypical not getting a hold of it. Garrett's going to take advantage. A great flip reset over the last man. But that's what happens when you give the ball up in midfield. NRG are going to take advantage. You know Garrett behind the ball in that situation. It's a solo play every time.
The G stands for Guru, and he's a guru of flip resets. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nobody better at scoring flip resets than Garrett G. Miss
space.
Garrett G, another chance. Gets bumped off the ball. Arsenal with time. Tips it up to Reynolds. Reynolds back to the middle. A mistake. Backboard bounce. Squishy. The shot right at Reynolds.
Yeah, he was a sit duck. He had no boost there. He's lucky that one just came right at him. He was flat-footed. No boost. Would have been impossible for him to get any shot anywhere else aside from at him.
Under 60 seconds left to go. Space Station fighting for their season lives. Reynolds with the catch. 1v1.
Ooh, he dropped it. He had the right idea, honestly. He had everything set up perfectly, and he was going for the shot to the top right corner. Justin cut it down. He had Sypical on the outside edge, and you'll never know if it's going to make a difference. Wow. Justin going to close it down.
And
you're seeing the writing on the wall, Corelli.
That might just be enough here. 37 seconds left. 3-goal lead now for NRG. They've taken advantage of the mistakes and the missed opportunities from Space Station. and they're in the lead comfortably.
Now or never for Space Station. Reynolds catching it. The chip denied. This one might go the distance. Typical off the backboard. Rebound out to Justin. The low shot denied by Reynolds. Space Station not giving up yet. The shot will lead its way through. Garrett wants to finish this championship with a hat trick.
And it's all smiles on the NRG side. Everyone giggling and laughing over there on the left side of your screen. Happy to see that one drop. 4-0 now, 13 seconds left, and NRG certainly going to take it.
These final seconds of formality. NRG, Space Station, you knew it would be a battle. And there you have it. The marathon of RLCS X is over, and NRG crossed the finish line as champions.
What a phenomenal ride this set has been for the General NRG. Oh my goodness. It was a grand final that truly required both sides of the ball to be on point. Space Station threw everything they could possibly think of at that NRG defense, and it just refused to break. I mean, when you've got those three players in Reynolds, Typical, and Arsenal pressure you, it is not easy to stay composed, let alone in the final game put up what? 17, 18 shots? It's like, it's insane. Like, how do you work your way out of that many tough situations on defense and run down to the other side of the pitch and score as many goals as you do? What a show from NRG.
Unbelievable season and year from NRG. The move to bring Squishy in proved to be the right one. They win it all. NRG are your RLCS X champions.
Baby, I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. Hey, you don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself.
Line Justin doesn't have much speed on this, and Garrett G's not going to be able to clear this heavily because the ball's moving too slowly.
No.
Reynolds over the top of one is Typical around in time.
Oh, no.
Face and still gets dunked by Squishy. What are you talking about? He gets a goal out of that? And it's back away for the moment. Garrett G lofting it in front of the goal. Typical blocks it before Squishy can take a shot. Bounce off the wall. It's Justin. One more excellent placement, and NRG's on the board.
NRG gonna have to do something quick, otherwise.
Oh, and that could be it. Squishy.
Right in front, Arsenal gets harassed by Garrett, and now Justin sweeps back in, one-on-one, underneath Typical. Justin does it again. NRG take the game.
NRG manipulating that timing so well.
And there it is. Garrett G gets the redirect.
Lost two defenders. Chicago gets all of it.
G2 holding on, but these clears are not clearing over that last man. This one pitching towards that. It goes in for Garrett off the pitch, and NRG finally takes down G2.
Ladies and gentlemen, NRG are your champions of the entirety of Season X. That is quite the title to hold, and I don't know how we're gonna break this down here, because I know we're all crying, we're all super happy. I know Daz specifically. I can see the tears dripping from your face right now.
I'm holding it so hard, you don't even know. Oh my goodness. You know, these guys, I've watched them all year long, from the fall grid all the way throughout to the spring. The journey. I mean, even when they made their first roster change, it brought Squishy on. The first tournament was on my Twitch channel, and we got to see these guys in action, hearing the conversation, hearing the levels, hearing the feel and emotion that these guys had to go through throughout the entire season that led up to this point. I can't be more than happy for them. They earned this victory.
What a year for Squishy. He comes in, he has to replace Turbo Pulsar. Those are big shoes to fill, and Squishy absolutely played out of his mind. Obviously, Garrett G and Justin, phenomenal series as well, but Squishy has been that third man role this whole entire time, just like, all right, Garrett G, Justin, just you do whatever you want to do. I will be there for you. He's done it all year long.
Right.
And what a world to end on that Garrett G flip reset. We saw Justin with incredible plays, like 9 out of 10 over and over and over every single game. NRG, well-deserved win.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, to take out of everything that we've seen from NRG all season long is the unselfishness. That's what makes this team so great. All 3 players are willing to get their teammates involved because they realize how dangerous that is, and it culminated in this championship.
Well, to talk about that victory, we're bringing on one of those Season X North American champions. It's Garrett G. Congratulations on champion title.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad I'm in. I said I hope I have another winners interview, and here we are. Thank God.
Right? It sounds like it was definitely a challenge. You're like, oh, thank God. It was close there. There was a hard fought battle there from SSG as well. You guys blew it away in the last game of that second series there, but it definitely felt like there was a bit of a challenge along the way. Just talk to me through this final series. This was the last series of RLCS Season X here. What were the emotions like walking through it? Did you guys realize at one point, like, oh my gosh, this is the last time we're playing this season? Or were you entirely focused on what was ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of bittersweet. I've gotten used to playing so much over this past 9 months. And I was kind of sad that, this is the last match. And obviously you have the thoughts like, oh, this last match after 800 individual games we played could, end in how it started. Honestly, split 1, the first regional, we lost to Spacestation. So I think it was fitting to play them at the end. Honestly, I was very stressed. I was super stressed for this match because, it's that play style is really hard for us to play against, and I'm just glad we were able to take it.
So was it a little bit of the icing on the cake to take down Spacestation in this finals? Because Spacestation throughout most of this year had your number. So did that help this win here?
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of overplayed. I feel like they beat us in fall a few times, and then we barely saw them in winter, and that was the first time we beat them. I guess I just wanted to win. I don't care if it was, whoever, but yeah, definitely. It I feel like it, went complete circle, I guess, if that's a saying. It definitely adds a little bit, but it could have been Orgla's team. I'm glad we won the entire season for NA. So, good no matter what, whoever we play.
Yeah, Garrett, talk to me about, I want to take things back to the beginning when you first brought Squishy on, and there's obviously a lot of different conversations that were going on. I mean, we've kind of had these talks all throughout the season where it was not like BDS, not like Europe, where no one believed you guys were definitively the best. Proving that journey to prove that and leading up to here, what was that like for you guys as a team?
It was hard. I mean, it felt like very routinely we were second best. Like we would make finals, and it wasn't even like we would choke them. We would just run into these teams that had our number. Like, Rogue had that really good stint, even Envy, those first 2 regionals. It just felt like consistently we could not become the best throughout the season. We would have events here and there, like, regional 2 and both major finals and stuff like that. But it felt like we were always struggling to beat someone who was, the best at the time. So it was hard. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this season was the most stressful thing I've had in my career for sure, especially with like a dramatic roster move and insane new talent, like, Spacestation picking up Reddles. Fall was probably the most stressful because it's like we made this move and we kind of went sideways at first, even though we were playing really well. At the time though, it felt like, what are we doing wrong? Is it me? Am I just falling behind here? But I'm glad I do have those feelings though, because it's like we all 3 want to consistently, be the best. I think that's why we were so consistent over this whole season. But Squishy's just someone who he hates losing. Everyone hates losing, but he's gonna work on it. Like, as soon as the series is over, we'll sit there and talk for like an hour about what we think we did wrong or what we need to do next time. And we just grinded it. I'm kind of ranting here, but we really did grind it throughout the whole year.
Well, you talk about bringing Squishy on, and I think everybody had high expectations just given his name and what he's done in the scene. There it is.
I was going to ask at some point, so I'm glad you jumped on that.
But, I think expectations have to be high bringing someone like Squishy on. And there's that transition period that all teams go through, but people thought you guys weren't going to. But my question is, the season's done and dusted. You guys put a nice, pretty bow on top. What are the plans for the offseason? I know IWO is on the horizon, but after that, any big plans for you, the family, the friends, anything like that?
A break. I mean, we played more games this past year than ever before, but honestly, I think as soon as this is over, we just can't wait for LANs. We want to do it on LAN. We want to show that we can do this on LAN too. And I think that's what we're going to be looking forward to for until they come. We'll play and grind our hearts out, whatever, online, some of that. But we're looking forward to Worlds. We want to play a Worlds, and I think that's going to keep us motivated. Even if there's a long off season, I think we're going to stay motivated. But definitely a break. Definitely a big break.
Well, again, I was being honest. My last question was about the dog pen, but now that that's out of the way, I want to ask you just overall, looking forward. You guys are going to take a break here, and you said you were stressed over the season. Consistently being that second best team. Do you feel like now you are that team and you're well enough ahead, or do you feel like teams are right on your tail still?
I think they're still right on our tail. I think this region's it's just way too competitive. Like, people make improvements so quick. I have always, this whole season, I've felt like we are the best team just off of mindset alone. But it's kind of in hindsight, you don't feel that in the moment. But yeah, I think still like that top 5, top 6, it's very close. Like, I mean, I think we're barely the best, but it could change next weekend. It could be different next weekend. But that's the battle, is bringing it back, consistently.
Well, we could keep you here all day, but you got to go celebrate. There's lots to get to and a break as well. So Garrett G, thank you so much for joining, and congratulations on being the RLCS Season X North American champions.
Thank you, Leaf.